Chapter 3, Drawing Practice of Engineering Drawing Standard Manual of NASA, Drafting Practice in General. The drafting practice is employed with the preparation of the drawings by the Goddamn Space Flight Center, but the personnel to achieve the commonality throughout the result of the legibility of the reproduction of lost cost of the original drawing. Must be complete with an unambiguous interpretation, complete with the drawing containing the make of the reference of all the data necessary to the fabrication and installing of the part, and where applicable, the necessary test requirements, procurement requirements, and source. The third angle, the orthographic of the projection shall be used mechanical engineering drawings, certain diagrams, schematics, and are accepted, although other types of projection and isometric perspective, etc., are not prohibited. You must be confined with the auxiliary view of the drawing or the complex of the part when such view shall be aided with visualizing the part. Drawing needs to have note that three views, one of the two views, are permissible for the objects that can be completed with completely defined complementary notes of the dimension and are applicable in place for the additional views. The rules shall be only with those views shall be drawn with the necessary to convey with the required characteristics of the part, the view, dimensions, and etc. shall not extend but the margins of the drawing. Lines. 3-2 lines. Acceptable quality of reproduction independent of the density, uniformity of line work or lettering. The type of lines described in the herein of the early line conventions may be every case of each of the lines shall be opaque and uniform width, which shall be used for only of the drawings, how the diagram, and such as schematics, etc. 3-2-1 ink lines and plotted lines, whether the handwritten, hand-drawn, or plotted, shall be opaque of the uniform width of each of the type of the line, with the two widths of lines, i.e. the thin or thick of the width, with the proportion 1-2 shall be used. The actual width of each type of the line shall be governed by the size of the style of the drawing. The relatively width of the line shall be approximately those shown in Figure 4 on the page 26. Your center line shows thin in dimension, thin line, thin leader, thin break, long, thin sectional extension, long and thin, phantom line, thin hidden line, thin stitch line, datum line, thin datum line is thick, the outline visible line is thick, the break short is thick, and the cutting plane viewing plane is thick, and cutting plane for the complexity offset views are thick. 3-2-2 pencil lines. Pencil lines shall be opaque and uniform with the width throughout their its length. The length of width is specified for the ink lines do not apply with the pencil lines. Cutting the view, the plane lines are the thickest lines of the drawing. However, the thick lines used with the outlines and their visible lines with sufficient prominently and immediately differentiate them. The lines used for the purpose of the hidden section for the center, phantom, extension, dimension, and later lines shall be linear with the outlines and selection width of the pencil line. The consideration shall be given with the medium of the reproduction involved to ensure the proper reduction of the thinner lines. 3-2-3 type of the line. Center line. The center line should be composed of long, short dashes and alternately and evenly spaced. The long dash at each end of the center line shall be crossed without void. See the Figure 5 below, Figure 5-6 on page 28. You show the phantom line, center line, dimension line, extension line, leader line, section line, break line, cutting plane line, and the hidden line and the outline line. Section AA, line conventions. Alright, very short centers might maybe be unbroken. There is no confusion with other lines. Center lines shall be used to indicate the travel of the center. Figure 6 of page 28. Center line of travel shows the alternating positions. Looks like a crank piston rod or crankshaft for the bike. 3-2-3-2 dimension line shall determine the arrowheads of each of the end of the and shall be unbroken except with the space required for the dimension proper. The method of the shall dimension of the talents explained with the section 17 of the ANSI Y 14.5 to 1982. 3-2-3-3 liters. Liters shall be used to indicate the part of the portion to which the number of the note and the other reference applied with the shall be unbroken line. The determination of the arrowhead, dot, or wavy lines. Arrowheads shall be used always to terminate a line or dot should within with outline of an object. Alright, your 3-2-3-4 break lines. Short break lines are indicated with the solid free hand lines for length of the long breaks. Helpful ruled lines with the freely handed zigzags shall be used in the shaft of the rods and the tubes, etc. shall have the portion with the length of the broken out, shall have the ends of the breaking drawn and indicated with the Figure 7 on page 29. Alright, Figure 7 shows your break lines, metal rod, metal tube, metal bar, and wood. break lines. 3235 phantom lines shall be used and indicated the alternated position of the part of the item delineated, repeated, detailed, and relative position of the absent part shall be composite for the alternated one with long short, two short distance, evenly spaced with long distance, long dash at each end of the C, the figure 5 of the page 27 of the figure 6 of the page 28 and figure 8 below. Figure 8 shows the repeated detail. Figure 3236 section lines. Section lines shall be used to indicate the exposed surface of any of the objective sectional view. They are generally for the thin full lines. They may vary with the kind of material shown in the section. 3237 extension lines are usually indicated the extension of the surface due to the point of location outside of the part of the outline. They start with the visible gap of the outline with the part of the usably and perpendicular to the associated dimension line. 3238 hidden lines consist of the short dashes evenly spaced. These lines are used to show the hidden feature of the part, but they shall always be given with the dash into contact with the line foot, so they begin except with such dash with continuation of the full line. Dashes shall be attached to all the corners, arcs, and shall be given with the dash to the tangent point. See figure 5 to page 27, figure 8, and page 29. 3239, stitch lines. Stitch lines shall be used to indicate the stitching and sewing lines are articles showing consistent series of the very short dashes, approximately half of the length of the dash, and hidden lines evenly with their space. The long lines of the stitching may be indicated the series of stitching lines connected with the phantom lines. 32310, outlines visible lines. The outline visible lines shall be used with all lines of the on the drawing representing the visible lines of the object. See figure 5 of the page 27. 32311, datum lines. Datum shall be used to indicate the two positions of the datum plane, but it should consist of one long datum, a dash, and two short dashes evenly with space. 32312, the cutting plane of the viewing plane lines. The cutting plane lines shall be used for the indicated plane of the planes in which the section is taken. The viewing of the plane lines shall be used for the indicated the plane of the planes for which the surfaces are viewed. On the simple use, the cutting planes shall be indicated as shown in figure 9 over the page 31. The view shall be shown in the back of the cutting plane, third angle. Figure 9 shows a full sectional view in section A. On complex views, and when the cutting planes are bent and offset with the cutting of them shall be indicated as shown in figure 10A. This shows the different cutting view, and I guess that's new to me. For complex cutting views, off section and section B to B. 3 lettering number. Enter the letter and number. Enter the letter shall be uppercase for the capital letters. Numbers shall be Arabic number. The letter and the numbers shall always be placed in the horizontal of the reading of the position. For as practicable, other lettering shall be also in a horizontal reading of the position of the drawing is rotated with 90 degrees clockwise. Legal lettering is essential with the reproduction of letters and numerals shall be not run together. When the typewriting of the letters and digits used of the drawing related to data, nothing when they're smaller with the pica type is permitted. This 331 styles other than the beginning of the uppercase Roman in place for the horizontal replay the reading position of the lettering of the individual style. 332 the heights. Letter height shall be for the following: drawing number, identification number, the 24 of an inch, the drawing type of the description of the drawing type of the L&M, quarter inch, the drawing substitutable border and letter number, the 1900ths of an inch, the description, title, and section, detailed views and notes and tabulation, 1900 hundredths of an inch, the sectional to detailed views and tabulation letters, quarter of an inch. Dimension, tolerance, limitation, note, subtitle, table, revision of one's own letters, field of the drawing, 1600ths of an inch. List of materials, information, name blocks, and used in the next assembly, 1400ths of an inch. Note, the use of fixed is not allowed. Alright. 3/4 scale. Drawing shall be made with the full scale unless the parts of the assembly are too large to permit the small and complex of the drawing, and enlarged with the scale and essential for clarity. When the main of the viewing of the large parts of the drawing to the reduced scale, the detailed view, the taking the clarification details should be made with the full scale whenever possible. When the part that has been drawn to be enlarged, the scale to clarity is not necessary to make an actual size view. The scale preferred for the engineering drawing should be full-sized 1:1, reduced 1:2, 1:4, 1:10, 1:20, and enlarged 2:1, 4:1, 10:1, 20:1. Computer databases for the format size shall be 1:1 at all times. Exemptions: certain drawing and figures of their varying nature cannot be drawn to the specific scale. For example, the wiring schematic drawings and schematic diagram drawings for the scale of designation for each of the case none of the C, the B below. Scales are not noted above. See the word none must be entered with the title block. Do not use the word size size of the following ratio, the notion of 1/4 inch noted or in 1.5 noted, etc. apply to those drawings on which the main of the views are reduced. The scale of the auxiliary views are the same other scale to maintain the consistency of the title block call out with the scale detailed view shall be noted on thus detailed A in scale 1:1. Note the scale of the view shall be stated on only when it differs from the noted in the title block. The representation of majority view of the section original pencil drawing should be to scale with 0.3 of an inch. The change of the existing drawing taken the place of the required to indicate the particular feature of the not to scale underlying the dimension which the straight line of the geometric imagery of CAD produced. The drawing shall be entered in an electronic database to the 1:1 full scale on this scale. Alright, 3.5. Position and part of the number of the drawing installation shall use the portion of the drawing that would be seen when viewed with the left side of the top side of equipment the forward end of the point of the left. The clarity of the greatly improved the position of the result. The viewer headed the line of the foreshortened the projection of the position shall be used and above the rules for the surety disregarded of the should instances should be the door-to-door jam which installed at the right side of the door, being the drawing of the forward portion of the right to the right and the number of the items installed with the forward side of the panel being the drawn looking at the forward side. Parts and minor assemblies are not necessarily drawn with the position they assume within the equipment. They may be drawn with some of the surface inside and the reference line parallel perpendicular to the lower border of the drawing. Lower last turn in parts that are usually drawn with larger diameters than the left. 3.5.1 Picturization. Unnecessary to detail will be omitted with all the view section. The clarity was non-specified with drafting. Then time is reduced to Figure 11, page 34. Figure 11 shows the detail, auxiliary, correct, and incorrect. These sections of the sectional view shall be made but throughout the outside of the view and not through another sectional view. See Figure 12 on page 35. The location of the section indicated with the cutting plane with the reference letters arrowhead shall be the direction in which the section is viewed. The sectional view shall not properly directly arrowhead cutting plane. Arrows should be used near the practicable through the portion of the drawing to clarify. The axis sectional view shall not be rotated. However, the cutting plane may be vary in the direction of the Figure 12. The view to be rotated with an angle. The direction of the rotation must be given. The visibility, invisible lines beyond the cutting plane shall be not seen, should not be shown unless they are necessary for the classification. Shaft and bolts and nuts, etc. within the cutting plane shall should not be cross-hatched. Alright, so incorrect projection, wrong side of the cutting of the plane are not acceptable. AA. Not recommended section rotated with the XXCW, the correction, but not lying projection, section AA. Correct but not line reproduction. Figure 12 designation. The cross-hatching symbol of the cast iron should be used with regardless of the material. Figure 13 cast essential with clarity material with which the part should be indicated with the conventions of the ANSY 14.2M 1979 casting malleable iron general using for all materials conventional materials. When sections are remotely located, the zone information shall be added with the both of the section locations, i.e. from where the section is taken for the location where the section is shown. 3.5.3 The views is usually used to enlarge and clarify the portion of the drawing. See Figure 14. Figure 14 it shows the clarification of portion of the drawing. The section title A, and then see the view of the title A. The title block number not shown. The project views are shown with along with the common certain lines, but their origin need not to be identified. The view located directly ahead of the viewing plane with the arrowheads absolutely prohibit. The transported views of the section of which they are not directed with the projections must identify where shown by the letters in the origin cutting plane with the lines and letters. The view should not be rotated. However, the views have to be rotated for legitimate reasons, and the angle of the direction of the rotation must be given. 3.5.4 Detail. The detailed partial view which is shown with the portion of another view of the same plane but usually depicted with greater detail. Details should not be rotated. See the Figure 15 show 15A shows the detail and detail A shows the detailed identification of the details. 3.5.5 Identification of section view. The details identifying the letter and section V to view the details assigned with the alphabetical sequence following the section such of the views. The AA Figure 114 on the page 36 hyphenated letters after ZZ begins at AAA or AB, etc. The encircle details are such that details A in the Figure 15 use the single letter after Z and begin with the A and then AB, etc. Later, I, O, Q, X, and either the single letter as a double letter entry that should not be used. The designated letter, a combination of letters released the drawing should not be used from another section view of the detail on the same drawing. 3.5.6 Location section view and details on the zone and multiple sheet drawings view and the section detail of the portion of the drawings clarifying shall be cross-referenced as follows. Note that zone blocking sides of the half-inch square. The reference to the original drawing view to the share clarifying sheet, the section view AA to 5A to sheet 3 of the original drawing. Reference view to the clarification sheet of the original drawing AA to one drawing 1D the scale 4 to 1 is sheet drawing 1. 4 types of drawings altered in types of drawings